All right, we just got in this ice cold. It's 5:10. Let's go drive it. It's been running for about 20 seconds, 30, right about 30 seconds now. Let's go drive it and see how long it takes to heat up. It is 42 degrees outside right now. So nice and easy, take off, don't beat on it. It's been running for about 30, 45 seconds. Let's see what we end up getting out of it. 511. And we will compare a warm up here versus just idle to warm up to operating temp. Keep it under 2,000 RPM, let it shift nice and easy. We're at about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes so far. Oh, we're already starting to get movement in the cold needle right there. Not even 2 minutes later. And it's completely covering the C in our sweep range. We're keeping it under 2,000 RPM. Just driving it real nice. Or right at 2,000 RPM, I should say. Just nice and easy. No shifting issues, no nothing going on there. But of course, this vehicle has been taken care of meticulously maintenance-wise, so that's one of the reasons why there's no shifting issues. It's 5:13 now. Set it at 45 an hour, 46 mile an hour. It's moved a little bit more. Trans temperature on the right, coolant on the left. And they are moving with each other. Coolant is just a tad bit faster than trans. We are at 5:14. Let's bump this up to 55 mile an hour. Speed limit went up. Now you can see the relation to coolant on the left, which is this gauge here, versus this one over here. You can see the coolant is moving much quicker than the trans temp is. But I really like being able to monitor them both. And it is 5:15. Keeping it under 2,000 RPM. 40 mile an hour is the speed limit on this road. 516. Make it a left to get on the highway. Alright, trans has got a little warmth now. It's not up to operating temp, but it's got some warmth. The coolant is 517, and we have coolant is almost, not quite the operating temp, but almost, not there yet. And our transmission temp is still a little bit low. .55 miles an hour is 518. We are at 70 miles an hour, nice and easy in it. And we are at operating temperature. Trans temp is not quite there yet. I will keep this rolling for a little bit to see how the trans temp responds. So at 5:19, we were at full operating temp while driving. It took us approximately 8 minutes of driving, keeping it under 2,000 RPM, just nice and easy, letting off right at about 30 seconds of letting it idle, then taking off, keeping it under 2,000 RPM, just letting it shift real nice and easy. And now we are up to 70 miles an hour and building trans temp slowly. Transmission temperature is 520 right now. Should mimic your engine coolant almost perfectly. Maybe a tad bit less. And it's 520. Took about a minute longer for the trans to catch up, and the transmission is stabilized and no longer moving. So what do we gain from this? At 7 to 8 minutes, slowly taking off, the vehicle was up to full operating temperature. And about 9 to 10 minutes, taking off nice and easy, the transmission was up to full operating or maximum or optimal operating temperature. Figured I might share that with you guys, since we've been talking about more cold start stuff and do you need to let it sit in idle and things like this. The optimal answer for cold starting a vehicle and taking off, even in severe cold climates, is just a few minutes of idle time in severe cold climate, just enough to start to get those cylinder temperatures up a little bit, and take off nice and easy. The problem is, the theory is cylinder temperatures are much colder, and if you just let the vehicle sit there and idle, it has incomplete combustion and overfueling and fuel dilution, cylinder wall wash, and things like that. So they'd rather you kind of just let it run about 30 to 45 seconds, especially on a day like today where it's like, 25 to 40 degrees outside. Just slowly take off. Severe cold weather, like we had last week where it was negative 30, negative 35, negative 20. Then, maybe let it run a couple minutes, go out, scrape your windows. Actually physically go out and scrape your windows. Don't give yourself a reason to be lazy about it or because you don't like the cold or whatever it may be. Scrape your windows and get them nice and cleaned off so you're not relying on the vehicle to do that. Some newer vehicles, like the newer Super Duties, have a preheater that has a grid system that has instantaneous heat on startup. So that's good for the Super Duty guys. But us passenger vehicles, we don't have that. So we're going to have to do some manual labor. You're going to have to get your scraper out. You have to scrape your windows and stuff like that and make a 10-minute, 15-minute project into something that's, 5 to 6 minutes of letting it sit there and run and scraping the windows and then get in the vehicle and take off and go. That's the optimal way to do it. Not let it sit there and excessively idle. That's how long it took me to get my vehicle up to operating temperature. About 8 minutes of nice easy driving under 2,000 RPM at 40 degrees, and trans up to operating temp about 9 to 10 minutes, and that's with some of it getting on the highway. You guys be blessed. I just wanted to share that with you. And in the morning we will do a comparison on how long it takes to actually idle up to operating temp, so we can see the difference between the transmission and the coolant and time-wise what it takes just sitting there. I love y'all. Be blessed. Take care and have a great night.